I got up in the air nice. Good. Ron, I'm going to look at your chipping technique. On the left was when you started before I made any adjustments, and I'm comparing you to Tiger's chip shot first. The first thing that's obvious is the width of your stance. You have a very wide stance, and the pros will have their feet very, very close to each other when they're hitting little chip shots. And so one of the things that we started doing was shortening your stance, making it more narrow. The other thing is you can see how Tiger has the left arm and shaft almost in the same line. He has what we call a forward lean. He has his hands forward. And you have your shaft pretty vertical. And then you have a bent left arm there. So you have a fluctuating radius of your arc, and that's going to cause you to have your golf circle fluctuate in its size. It'll shrink up and miss the ground. It'll expand too much and hit too much ground. It won't be stabilized because you don't have a constant radius in the arc. And so by having a straight arm without having that elbow bent, you lock in a set radius length, and it can't vary. And so you're going to be much more consistent once you establish where the ground is, and you can bump the ground the same every time. Now we're going to watch Tiger chip this shot. Now you can see how his hands get to the left side of his body, and he makes contact with that shaft lean, and then the ball will pop up as he kind of slides under. Because he's hitting down into the ball, it will kind of pop up. And you can see how, let me back this up, as he makes contact, you can see this angle right here in the right arm and shaft, and how that angle is maintained through the ball. He's not flipping the club head. He's not flipping this club head past his hands. He's swinging the handle forward, not just the club head forward. As you come through, now you're hitting a little shorter shot than Tiger, but the mechanics will be the same. As you make contact, you can see how your shaft is almost reversed. It's going almost leaning back, and you have all these angles. Now this particular shot you hit pretty well, and you got it up in the air, but you hit other shots where you bladed the ball on the ground and didn't get up at all. And so as you come through, you can see how this angle in the back of your left wrist is cupping. Tiger's hands, his left hand gets all the way past his left hip, and yours is still in front of your body. As you're just flipping the club head through and not swinging the club and the handle both through. Here's another close-up of Tiger hitting that little pitch shot, and you can see how both hands are going past his body right there. Very quiet. He's not flipping the club, but it's all a connected swing. As he comes through, he has that letter Y, and he maintains that letter Y all the way through the shot. It's also very noticeable to see how he's leaning, his knees and his weight is leaning to the target. He's not standing vertical, and he's not hanging back on his back foot. He is moving to that left foot. He is putting all his weight on his left foot. Here's another one of Tiger, and here I want to emphasize how he swings the chest forward and keeps his hands in front of his chest. So it's a body swing, not a hand swing. He's not just flipping the end of the club, but he's swinging that chest through the shot, turning his chest to the target.
Your club through the shot. I want you to come through and not have that back of this wrist cupped like that.
Okay.
So you're going to just move the back of your hand and hold it like this. This is kind of the letter Y. You want to keep that letter Y intact.
Okay.
So I want you to have the same Y here as you did at the start. So you're swinging the handle to here. Now, that'll follow, but you're not trying to swing the club head through the ball. You're trying to swing the handle through the ball. Hold. Just a little hard. Cut your power in half. Do a practice swing where it feels much softer. Hands forward a little bit more. I want a straight line from your left arm down the shaft. So I want you to feel like your hands are more forward to start with. So don't start with your hands here. Start with them here. So start with your. If I were to just let my hands hang, wherever that's hanging, I want you to bring your right hand over to your left hand. Don't bring the hands together to the center. There you go. I want you to see that shaft leaning before you start. Okay, good. Let's just keep working with that. But I want you to feel that scrape of the grass. Don't swing. If you're swinging air, you're not ready for the ball. There you go. That's the one you want when there's a ball present. Good. Now to set up the ball and try to copy the same thing. Okay, let's keep working with that. Choke down just a fraction. Make the club shorter, makes it easier to control. Hands forward, that's good. There you go. That's what I want. So I basically want you to feel like you're swinging your chest through. My elbows are right in front of my chest, and they stay there. This and this are connected. I don't want you to disconnect them. So here's my sternum. I'm going to swing that sternum forward, and this stays right in front of my chest. It's in front of my chest, front of my chest, front of my chest. I'm never going to stop the chest and then throw that past my chest. So let me see you set up. Feel like your arms are connected to you, and you're going to be aware of this swinging to your target. There you go. If you move the chest, that won't cup so much. Feel the difference? More connected. You're only going to swing the club as fast as you can swing your chest. Flex the knees a little bit for me. Okay. Do it one more time with your feet. Cut your width in half. There you go. Perfect. Oh, I love that one. So let's hit a couple of balls. You're going to randomly hit good shots and you're going to randomly hit bad shots, but do not randomly finish. You have that pose and that swing in your mind. Hold that finish for me. I don't care where the ball goes. Swing the chest. Swing the chest. Good. Again. Swing the chest and hold your finish. Good. Keep doing that. Swing the chest. Swing the chest. Good. Good. That's right. Just a little quick. Let's soften it up a little bit. Have a little bit smoother swing. We'll add that power in a minute. That was the best everything. That had the best rhythm, the best tempo, the best mechanics and geometry. That was your best shot. That's excellent.
Now on the right, we have adjusted your setup a little bit. It looks a lot closer to the fundamental swing that we saw a Tiger do. Let's start with the setup. I narrowed your stance, so you have a little bit more narrow stance, and you could even go more narrow than that. In fact, it's probably most common for the pros to have no more than maybe 6 inches apart in their feet. So as you continue to work on your short game chipping and pitching, I'm going to continue to bring your feet even more narrow. The other thing is the shaft. Here you have a fairly vertical shaft, and here you have a leaning shaft. In fact, your shaft and left arm are almost in a straight line, versus here you have all these angles. So you made a big improvement with that. Excellent. as you made contact and hit the ball. You can see how you have this wrist cupping and your hands are staying in the front of your body. And on this one, look at those hands go forward. That's excellent. You've maintained your Y here. You're not cupping the back of that left wrist. Big, big difference. You're turning this hip here toward the target. You're turning your chest. Your chest is now pointing this way, whereas here you're still kind of pointing down at the ground and flipping your hands by it. So that's a much improved technique. And as you continue to work on this technique, it'll become more familiar to you, which allows you to be more comfortable, and then that is followed by having more consistency. That's a very good adjustment.
With the driver, I want it off your left toe.
Off of my left toe.
Yep. So that you're swinging up the wall. You're trying to get it over the center field then.
Am I way on my back like that?
No, you'll be on your front foot. You're gonna, just like if I was playing baseball, I'm going to shift into that ball, and I'm going to hit the ball out here. I'm not going to shift it and hit it back here. I'm going to shift and boom! I'm hitting not fast right here. Let me see you stand up straight for a second.
Okay.
Like this. I want you to rotate and rotate and swing like a bat. You did a really good backswing. You let this right arm fold. And I want you to let your arms fold on the finish. So you don't have to finish with a straight arm.
Okay.
You do it. Good. Up with it right there. Okay, so just let that, see how straight this right arm is? You've got to make sure it's straight, like the end on the downswing. Yeah, that can move the tee. Good. Do that again, straight. So you're just going to concentrate on your right elbow bending it and straightening. There you go. You just want to straighten it. Hands where that ball is. We're just going to tap it. I want you to, you're going to stare right there and tap it forward. A little try. Good. The more you do that, good. Just keep doing that right there. Still have the ball right there. All right, still fine. Makes me nervous. Oh, wow, that's really good. Now you're really feeling the ball. Now when it goes to the right, go ahead and put the club here for a second. When it goes to the right now, this club is pointing straight, left of the yellow flag.
Okay.
But at impact, it's open. So we've got to learn how to turn this over a little bit, square it up a little bit. One of the things that'll help is how you actually hold the club. You're holding a screwdriver in your left hand. You want to turn it this way. You wouldn't start here and do a bunch of little inefficient turns. You'd get over here and do one good turn. You're not rotating this fast enough to square it up because this is in a weak position. I want you to get in a stronger position with that left hand. It'll help you rotate that club faster. There we go. Exactly. That went a little straighter. That club face came around a little faster, so instead of being way open, it squared a little bit more. It's always going to leave at right angles where that base is. That was solid. It's going to the right, but man, you're hitting it solid right now. That's more, up more, and I want you to visualize your hands crisscrossing over the other side. Do a practice swing in the field.
Okay, Brian, I'm going to take a look at your driver swing. We didn't have a lot of time to spend on the driver swing. It was toward the end of our session, but you did some really good things in that short amount of time. On the left was one of your better swings toward the end of our session, and I'm going to look at it just to identify a couple things that we still need to do going forward, but we're also going to talk about some of the things you did really well. Your setup is much better, and this is Grant Wade that we're comparing to. Grant was one of the tour players in the 90s and was considered at that time as having one of the best swings in golf. He's now one of the top instructors of tour players. You can see that he has a little bit more weight on his left side, and so do you. In fact, you have a little bit more than that. With the driver, you could be a little bit more 50-50, but you always want to have a fraction more weight on your left side than your right side with the driver. The other thing that you do really well and consistent with what Grant is doing is you have a nice extension in your arms here, just like Grant does. So that's very good. I'm going to take Grant back now and take a look at him at impact. As he hits the ball, you can see now he has a draw line from his left foot. He has his belt buckle right on top of his left foot. So at impact, he has a huge majority, probably 85% of his weight's on his left side at impact. And that's a critical fundamental for all full swing shots. Now let's take a look at your swing as you come back. Keeping that left arm nice and straight. I really like that right there. As you come through, that's in pretty good position. You've got a nice straight arm there. Pretty good here. Got some angles here, so you are putting a little bit more weight on that left side, so that's very good. When you get to this position, you have a nice extension in that right arm. Nice finish there. Let's look at Grant's finish. So if we were to look at both of you from the waist up, y'all look very similar. You're facing the target with your eyes, your chest, your belly button, just like Grant is. You rotated all the way through. The biggest difference is the waist down. You can see how Grant has his right leg turned and his right knee is pointing to the target. His right foot is off the ground and on the tip of the toe, so he's rotated his whole right side to the target. And so your upper body has done a really good job of doing a good athletic golf swing. It's just that we need to train the lower body how to shift and rotate to the left side.
See that one? Yeah. Got the ground.
That's all right.
It went left instead of right.
That's right. So how we doing over there, Andrea? Much straighter.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Y'all did great.